everyone, and welcome to Mirari's Industry 4.0 show. As you know, I am your host, Brad Wade. And today, our show is looking at low-code or no-code options in AR creation. And today, I am thrilled to have our guest, Will McReynolds. And Will, it's so good to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. So, Will, we have talked, and we'll probably go down a couple rabbit holes while we're talking today. But really, I'd love for people who may not know your background, a little bit of information. You're the owner CEO of KP9 Interactive. Could you give a little bit? I want to ask, what is maybe your earliest memory of augmented reality, or why you got into this field of AR?
That's a great question. It's one of the ones that when we had a content manager, when he started here, he asked me the exact same question. It was around 2011. I saw an actual web AR experience using a webcam, and it was on a newspaper, and you had to go to a website, but it was desktop only website. I held up the print to the webcam, and it came to life with a wind turbine. It was telling me more about that, and I was floored because at the time, I also owned a printing company. So I was like, wow, I could combine the two of these technologies and really help get the information out there. So that's when that was born in 2011, my first web AR experience. Once I realized how much work it would involve for using a computer and the amount of work to get people to know how to use it, I started going down the app road, and I started using a company called Mateo. I used their SDK, and a lot of the ideas I had, people weren't doing. So I started going on the help desk, and I would help answer other people's questions about the development. And I started building a name for myself in that community. Then eventually Mateo approached me to say, hey, would you like to do some work for us? And that's when that whole evolution started. The next thing you know, I'm going to be at Inside AR as one of their speakers to talk about the democratization of AR using content. And right when I was on the plane ride to the airport, to land in San Francisco, I landed, turned off airplane mode, and all these notifications came in. Hey, the website's down, blah, blah, blah. They're bought by Apple. And that was a crazy ride. That's a tech ride for sure. I don't know, that's where I started. And that was my peak of learning the industry about what was out there and what could be done in a fantastic community of developers. That's what inspires me too, is it's not just about being a big company. It's about, there's so many talented people out there that want to use technology to make their lives better and the ones around them better. And I really want to use that as a spark for KP9. KP9, I know I'm rambling here a little bit, but KP9, the name, is named after the Northern Lights, the strongest geomagnetic index that there is. It's very disruptive and very beautiful in experiences. And we want to take some of that passion and to help democratize AR, make it available to all as well.
Well, that's a great answer. And you said a couple different things. One thing you just talked about was passion. And, I remember you got me by a year, Will. I'm not going to lie. I was 2012 when I saw my first AR experience. And I know what that's like. And for people who are in this industry, and for even consumers, everybody seeing it for the first time, it really blows you away what you see, how engaging it is, and how interactive it is. And so this is a perfect segue right into, you have a product, Worldcast. And it's great because you can see how your road led from your first experience, and then being on that developer side, you mentioned the app, and now you've got Worldcast. For anybody who hasn't seen Worldcast yet, could you give us a little overview of what it is? And then I'm going to ask you about why, in this answer, if you could share, it's like, why did you create it? Where was the passion for that? Why did you do this?
The way I word it, I probably will merge both those together, actually. So Worldcast was the realization of how I wanted people to access content, or make it in that, everybody spouts, let's democratize AR. Let's but then everybody keeps on focusing on the next shiny wheel. It seems like it's like a new technology comes out. Hey, now we got real-time occlusion. Hey, now we've got this, and it keeps on preventing actual experiences getting out there because everybody gets hung up on that next innovation. We're at the premise of it. Worldcast is an engine with a few different studios. The very basic component of AR for the majority of people easing into the technology would either be tapping and placing, as we saw it would propagate with Wikipedia with the integration of AR Core for farm animals, which is a great example of that technology being used quickly and easily by consumers. We want to adopt that for people to create AR experiences for print at a geolocation, for face filters, and also be remote assistance, but also be industry agnostic in a way that when wearables come out, and even the ones that are available now would still work on our system by plugging into the phone using the web and having the whole structure be web-based and no code required, so that students, educators, small businesses can access to technology, create AR content, and not have to make it complicated to allow that information. That's WorldCast's that dream, is to make a spatial browser, one portal that activates the geo content or the print content or the face filter, all from one link. And if you share it to anybody on any platform, it works on those platforms as well.
That's awesome. And so coming at it from your lens, can you tell us a little bit about, okay, like how you would use WorldCast, or who would use it? And you're like, look, do you have to have coding, like skills, like programming? You need to know Cobalt or anything like that. So just like, who can be using this and how easy is it?
I think that to illustrate that, what I'll do quickly is I'll share my screen and I'll show you the, so this is the first studio out of 5. This is a print-based editor, so it's all available online. We wanted to make it simple that you don't have to do any coding at all, and you don't even have to be very creative. So basically, you would start by clicking the start button and uploading an image. For sake of time, I'm going to open up a pre-made item. I'm going to open up my business card. It has analytics, so I can see that we want people to see how many times their stuff's being viewed, because people like that.
Absolutely.
So here's it's what you see is what you get studio. I uploaded the back of my business card, and I was able to take the content from our partner Sketchfab, or you can upload your own 3D object. But once again, you don't have to be a 3D designer, so you can upload your own content, or we've made a library of a pre-made call to action buttons. So if you're not a 3D developer, you could add. This is assuming you've already uploaded an image and you now have a blank canvas. You can grab elements that we've already made that would make sense, social media icons to follow through. So once it's in place, a user would simply either preview in their web browser without using their phone, as I'll illustrate right here, I believe. My camera screen is not coming up. You know what? That's fine. Get better camera running. That's a live technical difficulty on my end.
Absolutely.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, live TV. What are you gonna do? We love it.
So I can't share my screen for some reason on this with Zoom running. But that's fine. What we'll do is talk about this. So basically, if you open up a web browser in WebAR, all you have to do is look at the image. It's not a QR code. It's the actual image itself. Now, this is one of the easiest things to do in augmented reality. But when you do it on the web, you start having to make sure that it's fixing in 3D space, 6 degrees of freedom. You have to move it back and forth from the camera and making sure it's locked on to the image. And that's what gives kind of the magic component to some users, right? But the ability to program the buttons to go to URLs, or have them fade in, or have them be interactive content right on the screen, and what you see is what you get environment, really allows, as soon as you hit save, it's published. It's gone live to that portal. As soon as I open up that web browser and allow access to the camera, it automatically brings up the content that I did on the screen, exactly how I placed it on the reality. So it's I really do apologize we couldn't add thing, but
that's all right. We'll share with the users some content and they can see it, and we'll also have the links below.
Actually, this part can be, because I know you're going to copy. I can send a video of that working.
Yeah, please do. Please, we'll share the video. We'll put that in there. And one of the things I love, Will, is you said it right. What you see is what you get. When you're inside your creation platform, you can actually see what it's going to look like. And then you can quickly also go to the preview. But you already have a really good idea, because the way it's laid out, you're working in that space, which is really good for the user right there. What would you say if you had to give like maybe just a couple features that really somebody could really embrace it, or way to kind of share like the big idea? What are a couple things specifically about WorldCast that you say are just the 2 or 3, just this is why, like you can do this, this, or this? What would you share with us?
I would say, once again, the barrier to entry, the friction, to get rid of the friction. The friction's always been the the barrier to entry has been removed. It's been too costly for a lot of users to even get into AR, and they have to find a developer, which it can, and then the maintenance software, the apps have been developed. This gets rid of all that friction. You don't have to keep on doing updates like you would on an app. You don't have to download 2 different apps because it's available one development process. So you have the no code entry. You have it's no longer cost prohibitive, and you also have the ability for being agnostic, platform agnostic as well, because it's web driven. A URL can open up on any platform, right?
And you nailed it. Those three, the barrier, all 3 of those make the barrier to entry just basically nil. Just they can come in and they can use it right away. There's no big major hurdles to come in and start using it. And that's one of the things I love about your platform. And now let's talk a little bit. I know AWE is going on, and I know that you've been consuming and doing a lot of stuff and sharing things as well. Let me ask you this one, just kind of off script. What are some of the things that you're seeing right now? What are one of the 2 big things that you've seen lately, whether it's at AWE or not? But what is something that is exciting you in the industry? It can be anything from tool creation, platforms, user, consumer, geolocation, whatever. What are you seeing that gets you kind of excited about where we're going?
To be honest, when I first started all this, when Mattel happened, I kind of branched off into a little bit of VR. So VR at the time never really innovated. We did a high profile job, but it really never excited me because I always loved games, and it just didn't really feel that in it. It was great, but didn't feel even doing something. It wasn't where I wanted to be for innovation. However, now fast forward from the DK1 that I had to the HTC Vive to the Quest. That thing excites me. The fact of how it's basically the Nintendo Switch of VR. Like the fact that you can link a cable up to your desktop rig, have high powered performance when you want it if you're at home, but then take that same thing and take it on the road somewhere without the setup and having the external sensors. The ability for the hand tracking on it's bang on, the pass through. Yeah, it's black and white, but who cares? It's we're going to get there. Like this is something that's excites me, getting to that mixed reality stage. When I first put them on for the first time, you got to remember, I see a lot of cool stuff here at the company. But when you out of the box, when I first got it, did the map room, when I'm in the VR environment, when I lean my head out into past my Guardian mode, and it meshes out, and I can see reality through that membrane of the blurring reality and virtual together. That's when I truly had my first immersive mixed reality experience. That's when I was like, holy, wow.
Right. That now I love it because, what I talk to people about is like, what I see from you right now is you're in the industry and you see something that's getting you excited. And that's the way I use as a barometer as well, is when I see something that in the industry that I'm excited about, I know like, man, that is like, I'd say it's like next level stuff. And that's so exciting. Now, as we start transitioning and moving on to start wrapping things up, and when people want to know a little bit more about WorldCast, KP9 Interactive, a little bit more about you, how should they get more information about any of those or connect with you? What would you want them to do?
I think that on our social handles, it's at KP9 or at KP9 Interactive. It's at KP9 Interactive, and they can go to our follow me on LinkedIn, Will McReynolds. Go there, or go to our KP9 page on LinkedIn, or even go to our website, kp9.ca.
That's perfect. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thanks to Mirari, our sponsor, for letting us always film in their XR studio. Thank you. So good seeing you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. Please reach out on social media, get connected with us, stay safe, and stay connected, everyone.